Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is December 3rd. My name is Adam, and as always, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
And hey, man, how you been?
Busy.
Busy. How was your Thanksgiving?
Not bad. Just
Not
a
bad.
nice, quiet little one at home this year. Just,
That's good.
no big fuss, no big deal. It was good. It was good.
That's good. Yeah.
And then I went to work and, Frozen and children, and I'm never more pro-choice than when I have to clean up after a kid's movie. Like, I'm just...
That's right. Frozen came out that week, didn't it?
Oh God, I hate everything. It's so bad. And here's the thing. I get it. Kids will be kids and all that nonsense, but parents should still be parents. Like
Right.
it's terrible. Oh, it's so bad. It's awful. And the only part of any of this mess that I'm like, okay, fine, I get it. Some of the seats, and it's because I think like half of the like smaller girls that come in have the same Elsa dress. It's got glitter on it like crazy.
Oh, I bet.
So the seats are just like and it's impossible to get glitter off these seats. It's possible to get glitter off of anything, but
Yeah.
that's the
Oh, yeah.
that's the only one I look at and I just go, you know what? All right, fine, whatever. But the rest of the mess, no. I'll take. I missed. It made me miss Endgame premiere because those
Oh,
were
wow.
not. They were not as bad. They weren't.
Oh, wow.
I would take a half sold out Frozen and look at it and just go, the sold out premiere first night for Endgame was not this bad in here. Like
Yeah.
that's how terrible cleaning up after a big kids movie is. It's awful.
Yeah. That's
But
terrible.
oh God, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
No, man. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
It's great. You want to just go to like everybody who comes to these and is clearly like like possibly going to be parents. The couples that can, because everybody loves Disney movies. And if you don't, then you're just wrong. But you just want to go out and just start handing out condoms. Just
Yeah.
throwing them out like just like, oh, hey, Oprah, everybody look under your seats. There's condoms and birth control. Have please, for the love of God, help us all.
Well, thank God for Disney Plus. Now we can enjoy it in our homes.
Yeah.
Have you been watching any of the Disney Plus stuff?
Oh, I've gone through so much. I've gone
Man,
through so much. Have you watched any of the Imagineering project?
I watched the first episode, but see, I have a problem
Yeah.
because everything Star Wars is on Disney Plus, and I'm in full Star Wars mode now. So I'll go to start watching Jeff Goldblum. I'll go to start watching Imagineers.
Yeah.
I'll go to start watching anything else,
And
I'm
wind
like,
up back at Star Wars.
That's
fair.
Yeah, I kind of want to. I made the mistake of trying to like, okay, let's go through every episode of Clone Wars.
Oh God.
While I have that on while I'm doing something else, and so I got 6 episodes in, so I'm like, well, I'm already in.
Yeah.
so that's why I keep going back. But
yeah.
no, I actually I need to watch more the Imagineer show because that's my jam.
Yes.
That first episode was amazing.
Oh, and it gets better. And yeah, I know people are gonna say, well, some of this is polished and this and that and so on. That's true. But there is at least a semblance of balance when they get to talking about like Euro Disney and some of that stuff. They don't shy away from saying, "Hey, by the way, this turned out to not really make any money." And at the big announcement of it, like they show footage of when they got egged. Like there's they don't. It's not a complete tell-all history of things, clearly and obviously. But they don't, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And they make that point of like, hey, there have been mistakes. There have been missteps. Some of them were very expensive. Some of them were because of some very stupid people. And you don't want Disney to carry a grudge because, oh my God, they will just burn you to the ground.
Oh yeah.
But
didn't they just announce a new show like that?
One Day at Disney.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, where it just follows... and that's, I think, more like current. Like the Imagineering project is more like a history of the development of Disney parks. The One Day at Disney is following around. I don't know if it's a different person each time. I think it is the way I remember it being presented. but it's like this is the job today, and it's like one job in one place. I'm not sure, but I think didn't the first, because it starts with like a movie and then it turns into a series. Like the first episode I think is like an hour and a half instead of an hour or something.
Mm. I'm not sure. Oh, you're talking about the Imagineer show or the one day at Disney?
The One Day at Disney.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. I remember I saw an article or something, and it had the guy who did BB-88,
Yeah.
and it was showing like I guess at the park. I don't know if BB-88 shows up at the park, but
I'd imagine he does at least in the Star Wars park.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
At some point or in some way. Yeah, so the it starts with a feature and it's an hour. And
Okay.
it's on right now.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but and then I think it's a series after that where it's like an hour. Basically, it's like the pilot is an hour and then the rest are shorter. I think I had seen it was going to be something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah, it premiered 2 days ago, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that yeah. Okay. So yeah, I need to see. There's so much I need to. It's just the problem is it's one of those things where like there's too many options. And so I ended up going back to what's comfortable.
But that's what I think is great about, and I know I think you and I were both on the opposite side of the fence of this. I like that everything is weekly because there's so much. Like instead of here's all of this at once, I'm okay with weekly just because it's like okay, I've seen like I'm caught up on the Imagineering project, on The World According to Goldblum,
right.
Mandalorian. And I'm just like, okay, so let me go watch, like, I'll go watch Ratatouille again, or Moana, or Hercules, or something,
Yeah, no, I'm totally on that side
Yeah.
now. I'm totally all for that. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, no, I get so sidetracked, and I immediately like, oh, it's too much, and then I'll go back to something.
Yeah.
I haven't even touched the MCU stuff.
Well,
And I want to.
They've only got a couple of the little, like, specials, and they're short.
Well, I just mean the movies in general.
Yeah,
like, I do want to go. I haven't been able to, I know you did 1 year, right? You went and watched all the MCU movies.
Yeah, that was fun.
Back to back.
Yeah.
I want to do something like that.
It took, I think it took a week, because I did it before Endgame. And
right.
I think it took, like, 2 weeks. Something like that, because I was.
Yeah.
But man, I lost. Like I signed up for this, but God, I lost so much sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I would be doing it, a lot less, well, a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's just so much on there, and I don't know. I this past week I watched Peanut Butter Falcon and
how was it? I still haven't seen that yet. How was that?
It's good. Yeah, it's definitely top 5 of the year for me.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing is that it's just a ridiculously good movie.
It's wholesome. It's good. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the renaissance of Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, because we forgot for a while that he's actually a good actor.
Oh yeah.
Like he legitimately can act, and now that he went through whatever it was that he needed to go through to get to here. He's come out the other side, and it seems like he's more, we're ready to go.
It seems like he's a better person.
Yeah,
I've watched some recent interviews with him because he's promoting Honey Boy.
Yeah,
and he talks about still talking to the cop that he went off on that night, and that changed everything for him. That changed his whole perspective. It seems like he's come out of it a better person, and he knows he's a fuck up. And he doesn't want it to be the end of the road, obviously.
Yeah.
He actually joined up for the Peace Corps before he even knew that he was going to be able to make that movie, Honey Boy.
Huh.
He talks about how he had to go and apologize that he couldn't join them when his script got picked up, and they were like, "Hey, let's make a movie out of this." But yeah, no, it seems that he's come out a better person, and hopefully time will tell that he has put all of that shit behind him.
Yeah.
But he seems legitimate, and yeah, dude, in the movie, I've always thought he was a good actor, and it's it's put up front in this, and it really makes me want to see Honey Boy now too, because I
Nice.
can't even imagine what that process would be like for him playing his own father in a movie about his life.
Yeah, God, that's to have written that, like, that had to have been just insane.
Yeah, that's got to be therapeutic on so many levels, and he's
Yeah.
so blunt and honest about it, even in the interviews, like stuff that like most people would be embarrassed to share about the relationship with these people and their family and how they were treated, and it's just all right up front, no bullshit. Uh, and I don't know, I'm enjoying the renaissance of him. I hope he makes a lot of good movies. Um, uh, but it was great. I loved it. The everyone in it was fantastic. Um, the guy who plays Zach, I think his name is Zach.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, yeah. Fantastic in it. Dakota Johnson. There was some surprises in it. I don't want to say who's in it because I don't know if you looked at the IMDb, but I was like, oh wow, I know those people. But it's a very simple movie. You get the idea in the trailer is that they kind of find each other, and it's what do they say in all the Fast and Furious movies? It's about family. It is. It's family's the home is the family that you make. It's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be your blood. It doesn't have to be anything like that. And it's a very it's a touching story. It's very wholesome. And it was good. Like I needed that kind of movie. And it was really well done.
Nice.
Yeah, the music, everything in it. It's very I mean that part of the country. Hey, it's very North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia. So I forget exactly where it takes place. I think it's in one of the Carolinas. The movie takes place because they talk about going down the road to Florida at some point. He's showing him the map. He's like, yeah, this road will take you all the way here. But yeah, it's good though. What else did I see? Oh yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, did you finally?
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so good, isn't it?
It's good. I mean, it's long as hell. Like they
It
should have made
is.
that like 3 episode
They
miniseries on
could have.
Netflix.
Oh, they could have very easily.
Oh yeah, totally. And it's a lot of nothing, like mostly nothing. But it's just a cool, like here's a shot and here like maybe a couple days because the film it takes place over a certain period of time, but you really get like 3 days with them.
Yeah,
Um,
basically.
yeah, and it's Quentin Tarantino, so the music mixed with the dialogue and the way he cuts these scenes together, it's just so stylish. And I don't know, like I don't. I'm curious because he said he's only got like one more movie left. It would have been cool to see different movies like this, like Once Upon a Time in, and then something else.
Yeah.
Or if this was like a series or something like that. But anyway, I thought it was great. I wasn't too, like most people my age, I guess, I've heard of the Shannon Tate murders. I've seen like a documentary or something. And obviously this is loosely based on that. And they take what's the word?
Creative liberties, I think, is
They
what
take
you're looking for. Yeah.
yes, they take creative liberties because I think Brad Pitt's character. I know that like there was an actor and his stunt double next door, but I think Brad Pitt's character is completely made up, right?
Yeah.
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 So I was just curious where it was going to go. I was curious what was real and what wasn't, especially with like when he goes to the Manson. Well, I shouldn't get into spoilers, but it's not really that big of a spoiler. But when you see where the hippies and whatnot are living, I didn't know what was real about that and what wasn't, or like what took place in real
What
life. And
was?
there was a lot of that was true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy when you look at like the stranger stuff about it is usually the actual stuff.
Right,
Like,
right,
and
yeah.
that's
It
what's
was like, oh
bizarre.
wow,
Where it's like,
yeah, yeah.
it's like, no, this part didn't happen. Oh no, that's the part that did happen. What? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was bizarre. But I thought it was a good movie. I'm glad I was able to see it in my house. Not that was a long ass movie. I
It's
stopped it like twice.
it is. But I mean, it's Tarantino. Like his
Yes.
stuff has just kind of been getting longer as time's gone on.
It has, absolutely, absolutely. That's why I think he would just. I think he's made for TV. Maybe that's why he says he's only got a few movies left in him, because he could really him behind a few series would be phenomenal.
Well, I mean, just do with what they wound up doing for the director's cut of The Hateful Eight.
Exactly, or like a samurai story or something like that, which I guess is The Hateful Eight because that was based off of the samurai story, right? Like those old time shows, he would nail in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, even like obviously Mandalorian is Star Wars and it's kind of fantastical and it's not anything I would see him doing, but the Mandalorian is a Western or slash samurai. I could see him doing a show like that with his own made up franchise, or you know even a Western. Like I could, that would be nuts if like HBO Max Super Duper or whatever it's called was like, hey, we got a Tarantino's show coming out. It's gonna be 8 episodes, and it's coming next year. Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think he would be perfect for television. I'm shocked that he hasn't made that jump yet, but I think he feels that. I think I've seen him in interviews where he's talked about like directors don't know when to hang their hat up, and he's feeling like it's time to move on and let someone else come. But I feel like we've run out of people that are that stylish.
Yeah. Yeah. Tarantino has carved out an aesthetic for himself, and not a lot of directors do that.
A lot of them are going. It's the things that make a lot of money nowadays are the Marvel movies. It's the very you have to get in line and make a certain kind of movie.
Yeah, but then there's Taika Waititi.
There's Taika Waititi, there's James Gunn, there's a few of them that are the outliners, but still on Tarantino's type of style, it's extremely rare.
Sure.
There's no one making his kind of movies on his level. With no one's been given that much money to make something original, uh, except for maybe J.J. Abrams, I think.
Yeah, but what's he done, quote unquote, original though?
But that's what I mean. Like Super 8 was probably the last one, or Cloverfield. No, he didn't do Cloverfield, but Super 8, I guess, would be the last one.
He did.
But I'm just.
Yeah, he did Cloverfield, didn't he?
Did he? I thought he just produced that.
He might have.
I know it was his baby, but like, it is his studio that did it.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is yes. To Waititi, he's definitely he's there. He's there with the style. Like I said, it's a handful. It's just a couple of people that when you hear their kind of movie, you automatically know in your head what you're going to get.
Exactly. Yeah. Nobody. There are very few who you can say, a Quentin Tarantino film, and you go, oh, so it's going to be, it's going to have this kind of theme and style and
Right.
that sort of thing. You get that with somebody like Taika, where you go in and you're like, all right, this is just going to be odd, but
Exactly.
it's going to be enjoyable, and it's also going to be emotional, because he does emotional really, really well.
Right, exactly. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying like Quentin Tarantino's high art or anything, because he's not. But it's just he is a master at what he does and extremely stylish, and it's just so rare. And like you said, Waititi, you get the feel with him.
Yeah.
Um,
Del Toro's another one. You go into a Guillermo del Toro movie and you think the first thing is there a monster in it? Yes. Okay, then you're getting, and that's the thing. Del Toro has kind of a split vision in that sense, where it's just like there's Del Toro without a monster and Del Toro with a monster.
Yes.
And it's a different style, each of those.
Right. And I just it's going to be a huge hole when Tarantino leaves.
Agreed.
Because that style of movie, no one does that. So many people copied it over the years, but no one did it to his level. And his story's crazy. It's interesting listening to his interviews and him talking about working at a video store.
Yeah. Talking
about what people are doing wrong. He was just obsessed with film and editing, and he was a quintessential fanboy, of genre of films, and just obsessed with it to the point where, it just made sense for him to go and do it, and he did.
Yeah.
And so
And
yeah,
to his credit, he decided to put his money where his mouth was.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I think him and Kevin Smith were probably the two that at that time changed that part of movie history. What was it, the 90s, where they put all this dialogue in. Oh, hey, we can go out there and make a movie because we're just fans.
Yeah.
And we can go toe to toe with the big boys that are making these giant blockbusters like Spielberg. They kind of ushered in their own,
Well, because they found a market that nobody had tapped, which was the
Right.
everyman. Nobody was making movies based on the people who were watching the movies and saying, how come nobody makes movies for us?
Right.
So they did that. And Kevin went one way with it, and Tarantino went the other way with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the rest is history. So yeah, man, I hope we get a few more out of him. I know it's been rumored him with Star Trek, but that just doesn't. I'm not excited about that, and I'm a fan of both.
No, I'm not big on the whole like Tarantino doing a Star Trek thing. Like it's an interesting thought experiment, and I would like to see the script, but I think it's just something that's like, this is a neat idea, but it should kind of be left at that, I think.
Yeah, neither of them need each other.
Yeah.
I don't want that from Tarantino, if that makes sense. I love his original, just weird ideas, but I don't know that. I don't know what I would want from him, honestly. Actually, now that I think about it, he's touched on all these different kind of genres. But yeah, I guess I'd love to see him shift more to TV and kind of shepherd in some TV shows, because I think that would be amazing.
I feel like a mini series is not outside the realm of possibility for him, because also his movies have act breaks, very defined act breaks, not just like, oh, and we've slid, we studied film theory, so we know that at this moment we've now moved into act 2, or here's where we start to pick up steam and this is what leads us into act 3. No, he has, like, I mean, hell, the Hateful Eight has an intermission.
Didn't they turn Hateful Eight into a TV show on Netflix?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the director's cut is a 4-part miniseries.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it feels like a play when you're watching. It feels like a live stage play. So it makes sense. Like that, I'm telling you, man. That in the next 5 years, it's going to be. I hope that's my theory, is that it's going to be announced that Quentin Tarantino is going to make the jump to, sign a deal with Netflix, sign a deal with HBO. Like, the HBO is just trying to start up its whole new. Wait, who does he have his deal with? He used to be with Weinstein, but I don't know who his company's with now.
Once Upon a Time was through Sony, but I don't
Sony.
think it's. I think it's just a. I think this was just a one-picture deal. I don't think it was. I don't think it was a multi. Like, here's the first of many. It was like, no, we want this movie.
Yeah. So whoever he ends up with or whatever he does, I think that would be the smart move to make, is sign a deal with. Obviously, you couldn't do it with Disney, but I would do it with,
He could do it with HBO. I think HBO is a good choice.
It'd be perfect. Dude, imagine getting a Quentin Tarantino show in a couple of years. That would be crazy.
Right?
I mean, right now, personally, I think HBO has the best show on television with Watchmen, which we'll talk more about next week.
Yeah, I have to. That's on me. I've got to catch up. I want to, because I'm seeing is like, it's so good, it's amazing, it's awesome, and I think I've only seen 2. And here's the thing: I can't remember. I can't remember if I've seen 2 or 3, simply because so much gets packed into each episode. And that's why I can't remember.
Oh yeah. There's so much. There's no filler in this. And the thing is there's been 7 episodes? I think there's only 2 left.
Yeah.
It is, and I hate saying this so early, and it's because it's so fresh. It's probably the best superhero thing I've ever seen put outside of a comic, if that makes sense, on a TV show or movie. It is the what they've done in these episodes. It's insane. It gets better and better and better. Each episode, you're like, well, there's no way the next one can, because most shows, it has a roller coaster where, like, the first episode, it's such a crazy cliffhanger, and then you get a few lows, and then it just keeps adding on each other, and it does things I've never seen done on television. Like, the way they tell their stories, and especially the last 2 episodes, for for goodness sake, don't go look at spoilers. Don't look at articles. Don't let anyone spoil what's going to happen. It is absolutely insane. I never saw any of it coming. And the way they tell, especially what was the last one? Was 7. So especially episode 6, the way they tell, and it's just like the comic where some of the episodes doesn't necessarily like it's not like, hey, we followed this one character from episode 1 all the way to 9. Just like the Watchmen comic, some episodes they spend a lot of time with one character.
Yeah.
By the end of it, you get a very good idea of that character, and it's not a spoiler, but just to give you an idea, one of them focus on Looking Glass, another one focuses on another character, and it's just you see them very differently at this point, because it adds so much character, it pushes the story along, and they're just so smart with how they. I don't. It's the writing. I'm telling you, man. By the end of this season, it will probably be my favorite season of television ever, because that used to be like Lost for me. Lost season 1 used to be the gold bar where I was like, what could compare to it? Game of Thrones got there, like a few other things. What could be as good as that? Because the first season of Lost was just episode after episode of what the hell can they do next to surprise me, with Locke and Michael and all those characters. And then by the end of it, you're just like, you just had such an appreciation for all those characters, and you felt like you knew them because of how they told the story. This does that in so many ways.
Yeah.
Especially, I was thinking, it's just, I don't know, I don't know where I'm going. It's just, it's so good. It's so good. I can't wait to talk about it next week, and that will be. There'll only be one episode left after that. And it's just, I don't know, it's so cool.
Yeah. No,
But
I am excited to really buckle down and get into it, because I
yeah,
need to do that. I want to do that.
yeah, it's really good. And here I thought, like, I this whole year I've been waiting for the Mandalorian. Like, that's gonna be it for me. It just blows it out of the water. Even though I love the Mandalorian, I'm obsessed with it. I watch each episode 2 or 3 times. Watchmen, it's like, and that's the thing about Watchmen is, again, don't go on the internet looking for things, but it's been fun week to week to watch it week to week, because a YouTube channel, there's a ton of them will come out with like, here's 93 Easter eggs you missed.
Yeah.
And they just blow over my head, but there is just layer after layer. They do things in this show where it seems like it's doing what every other show does, and it's very, not tacky, but it's very like, oh, hey, this is a trope that is in a television show, and you've seen this a few different times, and then 3 episodes later it actually pays off. They like secretly tuck in plot points, or not plot points, but things that are relevant that you might not think are relevant, to later be like, oh shit, I thought that was just a regular, like, they just had to do that because they have to do that in every television show.
Yeah.
It's smart. It's so smart. And oh man, and the crazy thing is I think this is it. I think David Lindelof has an official podcast. He did after the first 3 episodes. I would recommend doing that. After you watch the first 3 episodes, if you got time, listen to the first episode of the official Watchmen HBO podcast, because they talk about the first 3 episodes. And it's cool because he did a Lost podcast. This is back before podcasts were a thing. I think David Lindelof and Carlton Cruise were like officially one of the first big people to ever do a podcast, because there was a Lost podcast where every week they would talk about the episode, and they had to talk about it as if like they didn't know what was coming, but they would answer questions and stuff like that. Where this, it's kind of like that, and it's an awesome, because you're like, this is what I think they're trying to say, and David Lindelof is like, this is what we were going for.
Yeah.
And the guy talking to him will say like, hey, this is what I felt, and David Lindelof is like, I'm glad you felt that way, because that's like, it's really fascinating, and you kind of get a peek behind the curtain of like, some of the decisions you made. And then the second episode was after the next 3 episodes, which is the 6th episode, which is a major episode in the show. And oh, it's just so cool. And for him to go, aha, I'm so, like, it's funny hearing him experience. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it's interesting hearing him experience the audience after they've watched what he's done. And he can only give away a certain amount, in the first episode and then now. But anyway, it's good. Listen to the podcast. I think there's only going to be like 3 episodes of the podcast, and it's every 3 episodes.
Nice.
But yeah, it's so good. And I'll say this: they've answered a lot of questions. It seems like every episode they ask, like, there's more and more question marks, but they've done a very good job. But all the pieces are falling together now, and it's all making a lot of sense. There are a few things where you're like, wait, what? What? like not spoiling anything, but just like, what? But it's all falling together. It's all falling together. So yes, I'm excited. Next week we'll talk about that. But yeah, if you're listening and you haven't seen Watchmen, go get it. Go get HBO. See if you can get a free thing. If you've never signed up for HBO Go or now, you get free 30 days, and that'd be perfect because there's only 2 episodes left. And from what I understand, it's going to be one and done with him. Like in the podcast, he's talked about when they came to him and they were like, "Hey, we have this idea." I'm sorry, they didn't have the idea. They're like, "Hey, we want to do Watchmen, and you've talked to us before about if there was ever a chance to do Watchmen, to come to you." And he's like, "I have this idea," and it is. We all know that it is a sequel to the comic, set however many years later.
Yeah.
He has this idea where it is like a graphic novel, and he only has an idea for that. He doesn't have an idea for a 2nd or 3rd or 4th season. This is the show. Now, he's very vague because, obviously I think he wants to be careful on what he says.
Yeah.
But he's saying that the idea is that this is the season. This is what we came to do. If they continue on, it might not be with him, because he doesn't have an idea for a 2nd season. I don't think he says this in the podcast, but I got the feeling like he doesn't want to be Heroes.
Yeah.
Where it's got a great first season, and then it's like, it just goes downhill after that. It's kind of like the comic. The comic was a great graphic novel, and then it went away for years.
Yeah, and then it was done.
It was done, and in a way, Watchmen is a sequel to that universe that DC bought, 20 years, that all those stories were 20 years prior to the Watchmen, or even before that. So I like the idea that this is the sequel to Watchmen. This is what we're getting. And then it goes away for a while. And then maybe 10 years later, if someone has a good idea and they have a story to tell, they can do it, because this is so relevant. Everything that's happening in Watchmen, you just got to turn on the news. Like, it is extremely relevant to what's going on in the real world, which is exactly what Watchmen was when it came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating, and it goes so many different places that you think by the first few episodes, oh, I know what's going to happen. You have no idea. It's so crazy, and it's so good, and it introduces one of the best comic book characters I've seen in forever. And she's a person of color, which is great. Like, it's so good, and I'm so excited to talk about it next week. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get on that for sure.
Yeah. Where else were we? Okay, cool. Oh yeah. So, yeah. So, week's been crazy. Yeah, we went for a while there.
Yeah.
I don't even think we got to the movies. Oh yeah, we talked about Frozen a little bit.
Yeah, Frozen made all the money.
Oh yeah, my mom. Sunday, my mom hit me up. She wanted to hang out a little bit, and they wanted to go see Midway, and I was like, hey, I got a pass to go see the movies. I'm perfectly happy seeing whatever you guys want to see. But I was like, there are better movies out there. They ended up not wanting to go to the movies because I was like, I hated to be. I was like, Midway, you guys will probably like, but it didn't get good reviews. And I was like, there are better movies out there. I was like, for one, I was like, if it was my pick, I'd go see Knives Out.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, but I think in their head, and it's rightfully so, and they're pretty much the wide audience. They are the mass audience, because they're like, well, that looks like a movie I'd enjoy at my home, because I want to pay the $12 to go see a big blockbuster and explosions. That's what they think, and I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I think if they had like the pass or whatever, then it wouldn't be that wouldn't be. They would be like, oh, let's just go see something that's good.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Knives Out would probably be the first thing I'd want to see. Ford vs Ferrari would be another. Jojo Rabbit. But they were like, you know what? So we ended up ordering food, and I went over there and hung out with them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Midway's not bad. It's
yeah,
not it's not the tragedy that Pearl Harbor was in
right,
terms of, oh my god, this was a movie, how did this get made? It's very straightforward, really.
right, right,
It's exactly what it says it is.
right.
And so take it or leave it.
Yeah,
But yeah, Knives Out was fantastic. Knives Out is so good. It's not, and this is something we had a discussion about over at work. It's not Clue. It's not a comedy, quote unquote. It is more
right.
of a mystery movie.
It's a whodunit.
Yes, it is a whodunit, but it doesn't
Right.
have. I feel like a lot of people were hyping that up of like, oh, it's like another Clue. No, because it's not. It's not meant to be sort of goofy.
See, I got the idea from the trailer that it was more of like a dark, not a comedy, but more of like a dark sense of humor to it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't go big on the comedy. It's just these people are rich and spoiled and therefore kind of awful. So it lends itself. Some of the characterization lends itself to you kind of laugh at them, really.
Right.
But it's so good.
Yeah.
It is a thoroughly good movie.
Yeah, that's every person I talked to that went and saw it, they said it is a good time in the theater.
Yep.
It is a great ride from beginning to end, and the whole time you're wondering who did it, and that's what you want. And so that's why I was like, we should probably go see it. And I almost convinced them too, because they were both like, we saw the trailers for that. That does look good.
Yeah.
But I think they were like, I would rather spend like $40 on food. And I was like, hey, I don't blame you. Whatever you guys want to do is fine with me. They do come to me because they're like, they have been burned before where they've gone to a theater, because in their head they get in their heads like, oh, I want to see this movie, and I'm like, dude, it's got bad reviews, I don't know if you'll like it, and then they'll not listen to me. They'll go and spend the money, and they're like, you know what, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them some suggestions, but I feel like a lot of the stuff that we like and we enjoy, the mass population, just by name, because it's not associated with something, it's not a big blockbuster, they're hesitant because it's not a guarantee. It's unknown.
A great example of that is Jojo Rabbit right now.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing, is I showed my mom that. She seemed interested because her family's from Germany. Her mother was from Germany and had to leave Germany during all of that. So like, when I started explaining it, she kind of rolled her eyes, and then I showed her the trailer, and she was like, "Oh my god, I get the satire and I get the turn to serious. Like,
Yeah.
that makes sense." But when you just explain it, they're like, I don't know about that.
They're like, it's a 10-year-old Hitler Youth kid who has imaginary friend Hitler and wants to be like the best Nazi ever. It sounds just like, why would somebody make this? It's like, no,
On
let me
paper,
just.
right.
Yes, it does. It reads horrible, which is mildly unfortunate because it is based on a book.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
when you see the trailer, you're like, oh, okay, and it's great to watch, especially like how it goes from how the satire just kind of increases as things get worse, since it's towards the end of the war, and you're just like, and it's great because every time I'm watching this movie, I had to stop myself from saying, how can people believe this is the crap that they're saying? And then, you turn on the news.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's how.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, I saw a recent interview with, was it Orson Welles? And like,
how recent was this? Because he's been
not recent. I'm sorry. I recently watched it on YouTube.
Okay, fair enough.
It just randomly came across, and I thought, well, Orson Welles. And I'm such an idiot, because I'm like, I know he did the War of the Worlds, But then I'm like, it's not his originally, right? It was someone else's, but they have the same last name, right? H.G. Wells. So
Um,
anyway,
yeah.
anyway, I'm listening to the YouTube video, and I'm like, wait, how old was he? Because in the video, he's doing an interview in the '80s talking about meeting Hitler,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Orson
and
Welles old.
I'm just like, yeah, right, he did, not Casablanca. What's
Citizen Kane was his
Citizen
biggest.
Kane? That's it, yeah. And just for whatever reason, I started playing the interview, and he talks about like meeting. He said he was in Germany, and he met a few different people that were part of that group. And this was before they were the big Nazi party. They were a joke in their country.
Yeah.
The Nazis were this little tiny joke of a party that no one took seriously
Huh.
until they got power,
Huh.
until they took power, and the rest is history. But he said in the interview, he was like, Hitler was. He goes, you couldn't tell him from what was the phrase? From Pete from John or whatever. Like he had no. He's like he was there in the room, but I couldn't tell you anything about him. There was nothing interesting about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just thought that was funny that you said that because yeah, that was a little tiny party that no one really gave a shit about, and then obviously we all know what happened. But yeah, I showed my mom the Jojo Rabbit trailer and she was like, oh, that was good. Same with the Peanut Butter Falcon. But these are just movies that are not. It's not the big blockbuster. It's not, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's funny we're throwing Guardians of the Galaxy in there, but you know what I mean. Like it's
Yeah.
not Marvel or DC. It's not the Batman 6 or something. It's I don't know, but
Yeah, for as much as people like to complain, oh, they don't make any new ideas anymore. Nobody goes to see them. Like, that's
yes,
why they
yep,
don't make them. Marvel movies make $1 billion. Every Disney movie this year practically has made $1 billion.
yep.
That's why they keep making them, you know?
Yeah, before we actually while we were starting up the podcast, I was watching a trailer called The Farewell, which I guess I've never heard of. Someone said it was really good and I should check it out. And then I saw the trailer and there's no way I can watch that movie right now.
Yeah.
But man, A24 just their films,
A24.
A24, sorry. They just keep putting out like just really good shit.
Well,
I don't know.
They have their own brand, you know? They have a very specific brand of film, it seems like.
Right. How do we get more people to see that? There's got to be a better way to make that studio more profitable.
If you figure out the answer to that question, then you can go to Hollywood and be just fabulously rich, because that's the question they're all trying to answer.
Yeah, it's a shame that even I haven't heard of it until my friend told me about it. Like, and I like to think that we stay up, on the news and stuff. And man, I don't know. It's good. At least the trailer looks really good. Anyway, where were we? Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went off. But yeah, no, we almost went to the theater. But yeah, so we didn't. Jojo Rabbit is on my Jojo Rabbit and Knives Out. I kind of want to do like maybe back to back. Those are the two I want to go see.
They're two very different movies, so you'll be all right there.
Well, it's one of those like if I get to the theater, I'm great.
Yeah,
I'm there.
fair.
I'm settled in. To get me there twice, it's just this time of year. It's so crazy.
Well, and here's the thing: like Jojo Rabbit is never going to be a big room. Like that's not going to have much of an audience. Knives Out for a little bit is still going to have an audience.
Yeah.
But both are worth it. When Jojo Rabbit goes, I know we talked about act breaks earlier. When it decides to swing into Act 3 and takes just a horrific sharp left turn, it just it was great to watch it with the small group that I had. Because we just we laugh and we joke and we enjoy movies, and then when they decide, okay, we're gonna get serious now, you could feel the air leave the room. Like you could actually just feel it because everything went quiet.
Oh wow!
Everything went cold. It was, oh man.
Yeah, I want to see it. Yep, I need to get there this weekend, because I need to get there before Star Wars. That's the thing.
Yeah, because then good luck.
Yeah,
because
because actually, Jojo Rabbit probably won't be in the theater around that time.
it may not be around for much longer. I don't think ours has it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was the other thing. A few friends out of state, they're like, no, I haven't seen that because it left the theater weeks ago. And I'm like, what? But they're just smaller cities than where I'm at, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah. So have you seen any of these? You've seen Knives Out? Did you see Ford vs Ferrari?
I did. I loved Ford vs Ferrari.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's another one that's just fantastic. And the thing that makes it really great is Damon and Bale have just a magnificent chemistry. They work so well together. It's awesome.
Well, that's good.
I did see Frozen, and it's very good.
Good? Is it as good as the original?
You know, it's different. It is a different good because it's a different story.
Okay.
It's much more. It is a slightly more mature story, which I think was perfect for this movie.
Yeah, it makes sense because the kids who've seen it are a little bit older.
Which is something that they like in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like that first song has a line about, and you all look so much older, and it's delivered by Olaf, and he's staring directly, like front and center, and then a group of little kids from off screen come rushing past him. So it's like, oh, he was talking to these kids, not the other. But it's a great little fake out the way they do that.
Right.
But it's good. It's very good. It has some dark humor in it.
That's good.
There is one moment, anybody who's listening who's seen it knows exactly what I'm talking about, where there's a moment that is supposed to be sad. And you're either going to look at this and get sad, or you're just going to die laughing.
Yeah.
Because it's so meant to be sad, but because it's ridiculous, it's just hilarious. And I can easily see that going either way. And both of them being right.
Yeah. That's good.
But it's good. It is definitely very good. And the damn songs are also catchy. I don't know if you've been able to hear any of them or if you've escaped hearing any of them.
I haven't heard a single. I was just about to ask, is anything?
They're good. The one of the songs that I think is going to get somewhat overlooked is "Lost in the Woods."
Okay.
It's Christoph's song.
Mm-hmm.
The scene in the movie where they actually do that song is just, I want to hug the writers and the directors and the producers and everybody involved for being bold enough to make an 80s Styx music video.
Oh wow.
It's hysterical. You
Okay.
sit and watch it and you're just like, okay, they're doing this. And then as they cut to every different piece of it, you're just like, I can't believe they just did this. Like it's it's so good. It's so damn good.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. I haven't even heard the soundtrack.
It's good, and it's very much like as soon as you start hearing it, you're like, oh yeah, this is an REO Speedwagon song. Like,
oh okay.
It's that style of just like power ballad, and it's great. But yeah, the songs are great. There's not going to be any giant breakout Let It Go.
Right. No,
you're not going to get that, but they are all very good songs.
That's good.
And it's a good movie. It is a good movie. So I was pleased with that, and you know, cool. Damn Disney for all that. But it's like, oh, people are gonna see it forever. But yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh yeah. You know what I want to see? It's not out. I don't think yet. The 1917.
No, end of the year / beginning of the year, depending on the market.
Good. I want to go to theater to see that.
Yeah. No, I think it's one of those that's like a limited before the end of the year release, wide January release, I think.
Oh, okay. Here, let me look it up here.
It's something like that, I think.
But yeah, I saw someone review that yesterday, non-spoiler, and they were just blown away by it.
It
how
looks
they make
incredible.
it look like it's all one long shot.
Yeah, it looks incredible. It really does.
It says here Christmas, so that makes sense.
Yeah, but again, there's a handful of those where it's like,
right.
Hey, this comes out, New York and LA on Christmas.
Right, exactly. Cool.
But no, I'm excited for that. God, Jumanji's in a week. Oh
yeah.
Jumanji's
wow.
In a week. Oh, can't believe Jumanji's in a week. I'm already hating
Wow.
myself. Um,
Yeah,
because
that's crazy.
there's like nothing this week. I think the Playmobil movie is the only thing that comes out this week, which I'll give it credit for being a knockoff Lego. It actually looks like a fun movie.
Yeah,
It looks like it might actually be interesting. Um,
yeah.
but I just, man, I'm not looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to this week because we're still gonna have Frozen to deal with.
Oh yeah.
Next week is gonna be awful because Jumanji is gonna be insane, and then it's not gonna stop because the week after that is the end, and I'm excited for the movie. I'm not excited for the work.
Yeah. No. I saw some of the stuff that Kevin Hart and The Rock have been doing on social media. And it's pretty funny.
They're having a ball with this. They
Yeah.
really are. It's great.
And they keep showing a horse in a poster, and I don't know what that's about, but I'm interested. I guess one
Oh,
of the people turns into a character.
Yes, the blonde.
Oh, okay. So she's the horse.
Yeah, and they explain that in one of the trailers. So what's it, Bethany? Yeah, she
Oh,
turns into the horse.
okay. I'm like,
It's
well, that's
fantastic.
what I figured. I'm like, they keep showing a horse, so one of the characters has to jump into a horse.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah, but it's weird because it looks like they have different, like something happens in the game, and I don't know if it's they go to a different level at some point or what, but they wind up switching.
Oh, okay.
So that's gonna be just odd because there is one point where Bethany is back in Jack Black's body.
Oh, okay.
So it's weird. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Again, I'm excited for it. I'm not excited for the work.
Right.
I'm excited for Star Wars though, man. I have my outfit and everything. I got it from
Nope.
I went Black Friday shopping and I went slightly more overboard than I usually do.
Oh, nice.
Well, because I usually only get like one or two things.
Yeah.
But this year I found some really cool stuff. I got I, I got gifts for a couple people at work that are funny because they're long running jokes and I'm like, yeah, this will be fine. And everything was on sale. So I was like, yep, I can do that. If I can do that. And then for myself, I got and I mean an entire Star Wars outfit. The only thing I'm missing, I gotta go to Walmart or maybe Target and see if they have slippers.
Oh, nice.
That's the only piece I'm missing. I went to Amazon and got a hat. I got a beanie with the Rebel Alliance symbol on it.
Ah.
And then at Target, and because I already have a T-shirt and a blanket, so I went online to Target for I forget if it was Black Friday or Cyber Monday. I think it was Black Friday. And for like $40, I think I got socks, boxers, pajama pants, a sweater, and a water bottle, and
Jesus.
like a solid like kind of water bottle. Like this thing will like you go ahead say something I don't like, I will beat you with this. But
Jesus.
It's great.
Are you gonna bring the blanket to the theater?
Oh hell yeah.
Damn.
Oh
See,
yeah.
You don't do that here in Florida. No need.
No, but in oh god, I have to say it this way. In 2 weeks, it's gonna be kind of cold up here.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Oh, that's gonna be in 2 weeks. Oh my god, I can't
Yeah.
believe we're 2 weeks. I remember like when we had the first poster and trailer, and it was like, here it is. It comes out, in December, and I was like, oh good, that's the other side of the year, and here we
Right.
are. Like, what the hell happened, man? It was Endgame just yesterday. I remember it. I was there overnight cleaning and getting ready for the next morning, and now I'm getting ready to do that again for Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
God, where did this year go?
Yeah, it's just blown.
It's insane.
Blown by. Did you see the trailer for Black Widow?
I did. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like how it doesn't like. I like that aside from her, there's nobody in it we've met.
Right. Oh, I think all these side characters look super fascinating.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be really good.
They still haven't said who the Taskmaster is, have they?
No,
Man, I still think it's her.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Well, here's the deal. Almost every scene she's in this movie, when she's by herself, she's looking in a mirror.
Yeah.
Everything they do in this trailer, I'm thinking, and that's like Taskmaster's deal. Is as soon as he sees you do a move, he knows how to do it. He immediately copies it. It's like a mirror to him. And I think maybe that's what the whole mirror thing was about in the trailer. But I just kept thinking, what a cool way to keep her in the MCU is if if this whatever Taskmaster is, a clone, a twin, the different universe version, who knows, whatever. That would be a neat way to keep her in the MCU. Is she would just be a different character. But I'm sure it's probably like her sister or one of the other characters they just introduced.
It's gonna be like the failed version of her, I think.
Right, that's what I mean. The what's her name that she's talking to? Where is she from? Where have I seen her? Was she in Midsummer?
I know.
Who are the actresses in this?
I know exactly who you're talking about. And I can't, like, I can see the face because I just saw the trailer.
She's the one in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think it's gonna be her, or it's I think it'd be great if it was Scarlett Johansson. That would be a twist. The mask, or maybe she doesn't even find out. Maybe just the audience finds out.
Fair. She was Paige.
Right.
Yeah, she was Paige in Fighting with My Family. That's who that is.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm interested. When does this come out again?
May 1st.
May. Gotcha. So we'll find out. It's a lot of over the top stuff though. Like I'm kind of over the everyone's falling from the sky and everything's falling around them and they're fighting in the air.
Right.
Especially when it's characters that are just normal, everyday people.
Yeah, it's true.
Like she's not superhuman, right? Like she doesn't have superhero whatever. That part takes me out of it a little bit. That's my only critique. Not critique, but that's my only like thing that I would knock it for. Is like,
yeah.
Ugh, I don't know. It's like when you see something like this, the whole time I think in my head like Deadpool making fun of it, if that makes sense. Like the superhero landing and everything falling, and like they do that in Deadpool, where like everything's falling and he's fighting in the middle of the air. I don't know. That's just what I thought of, I guess, whenever I saw it. But I thought a lot of the cooler moments were like when they were just sitting around and they tell the guy he's gotten a little fat. And,
that dinner table scene is great.
Yeah, right? Like that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
This would make everything I think I'm like this would make a cool series. I would love to see like this as a series on Disney Plus. But who knows, maybe we get some of these characters in that show. But yeah, I don't know. That's what I kind of gravitated toward in the trailers when they were sitting around the dinner table. But yeah, I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited for that. Like it does. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks fun. For sure. What else was there? It's been kind of a light week. Yeah,
it's been Thanksgiving and everything, but you know.
We got the Crisis on Infinite Earths coming up. Are you going to watch that?
I go back and forth because I want to, but I have not seen anything like DC TV in years.
I don't think you need to, though, honestly.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Like, I know some of the general players. And
I think the idea... there's probably a video or two out there on YouTube that, like, catches you up.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
And I think the idea is that, like, it's just like the comic where, like, Antimatter? Anti-Monitor is going through and wiping out universes. I guess kind of like Thanos. He's wiping out universes. And I think one is already wiped out from the last Crisis.
Okay.
Or the last big event that they did, the big crossover event. And I think that's what essentially set this up, and that like they have to somehow protect the main Earth that we know about, and they have to get everyone together, and they have to get teams from all different universes, which is why they have like a Superman from the movie universe. What's his name? Brandon Routh,
yeah. But is he playing his Superman Returns Superman, or is he a different Superman?
Who knows, but I think he is. I think that's the idea, is that he's playing that Superman. And it's kind of funny because he never throws a punch in that movie, but you see him with the Kingdom Come outfit on.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering if maybe he's a different...
I think he's playing that one. I mean, you even got what's-his-face playing Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, that was, again, different universe.
I'm curious. I'm just curious how they're gonna do it. You're probably right. They're probably all different universes. He's definitely not in the main CW universe.
No,
None of
no,
these.
no, no.
A lot of these people aren't. But
I really I want to see the surprise. Like I want to see like all of the Supermen.
Yeah.
There, like I want that shot.
Right.
For sure. And I'm glad that they got Conroy to be Batman again. I really want to see Tim Daly show up as Superman from that same universe.
Right.
Because he did the Superman the animated series. He was that Superman.
Yeah, no, man, and that's the thing is I went to go watch Arrow from this current season the other day.
Yeah.
I have no idea who any of the people are except for him. And I think like in the show, Oliver's like, I have to die to save the world. Like he already knows that. And I think he was told that by the Anti-Monitor or not the Anti-Monitor,
the regular monitor. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, in order to save everything, you have to die. I think it's one of those things. So like, and I think they've said that as well. Like the Arrow show is going to end.
This is the last season of Arrow.
And I think that's why on the show, like his family's not there. And I think that was another sacrifice he had to make. It's like, in order for you to save everything, you have to make sure that your family's nowhere near you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't seen like 3 seasons of Arrow, 2 or 3 seasons, and The Flash I've not seen like the last season or the last 2 seasons, but I really don't think you need to.
Yeah, I'll watch because that starts this week, right?
Yeah, I think it does. Let's see here. Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Because it starts. I think it starts this week. I don't know exactly when, but I'm fairly certain it's this week. But yeah, I'll find because I'm sure there's plenty of like things you need to know before.
Yeah.
Crisis videos.
Starts Sunday.
Starts Sunday. Okay.
Yes. So the 8th, 9th, 10th. Let's see here. Yeah, it starts on the 8th.
Well, 3 nights. I thought it was like a 5-part crossover though.
Let's see here.
Is it just 8th, 9th, and 10th?
Okay, I'm sorry. So it starts Supergirl, which is the 8th.
Okay.
And then Batwoman, which is the 9th.
Okay.
December 9th. And then The Flash, which is December 10th.
Okay.
Arrow, January 14th.
Oh, that's right. It's split. That's right. It's split. Yes. I remember this now.
And Legend of Tomorrow, January 14th.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a break during the Christmas time, and I imagine that's when there's like a big cliffhanger at the end of Flash.
Yeah.
Man, that's probably when... Oh. Yeah.
That's going to be rough. Yeah,
The Last Temptation of Barry Allen. And I'm surprised because I think they'll probably kill Barry Allen in this. They have to because it's a crisis. Oh, man. I hope they don't kill him. He's the best thing about the Flash. Well, actually, no, Cisco is. But
I haven't I kind of got soured on the Flash after season 2 because everybody got like super serious. Like I started season 3 and I forget how far I got into it.
Yeah.
But they sucked all the fun out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they've rebuilt it since then, but I just could not get through I couldn't get through a season of mopey Cisco. I couldn't do it.
It gets really fun, especially when they bring in the Elastic Guy.
Okay.
He's like he's the ex-cop, and his character's very shitty at the beginning, but then you grow to love him. You're like, oh, this guy, he just wants to have friends, and yeah, it gets way better, and it gets way more goofy, especially because they start bringing in the shark, the hammer, whatever his name is, King Shark,
yeah.
and all that stuff, and they get pretty goofy. What threw me was I was just like, okay, another speedster. Like H. Wells, how many times can he betray them when it's not really him, it's some other H.G. Wells or whatever, and then like the H.G. Wells characters, he became one of my favorites because it was like a different universe one each season.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it gets way better. But like I said, what threw me off was like only so many times can we have a speedster villain. Like, we got to have a big bad villain that's not a speedster. And I think they fixed that in the last one because I don't think it's a speedster.
Okay. Yeah, because
Like,
I was on, like, I had just done whatever I can't even remember. I think third season, and whichever one that was, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it became too much.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Legends of Tomorrow is fun too. Like, Legends of Tomorrow is wacky and goofy, and I want to catch up on that because it's basically just Star Trek with DC characters.
Yeah.
And that's goofy because they'll jump in time. They'll be suddenly with samurais, and suddenly they're in the West, and it's just so goofy. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. So the Crisis, I think we'll both probably watch it when this thing comes out. I think that will probably be like, okay, that will make me want to go back and rewatch. There's just too much content out. There's too many things to watch. There's too many good movies out. And I'm an idiot because I'll always be like, well, I'm gonna go back and watch Clone Wars, or I'm gonna, I'm almost done with the Resistance book, the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
But I want to go. I want to get through the Way of Kings. Anytime I start a book, in the corner of my eye, I'm like, I need to go read that one because that's the one I want to go back to. But I want to finish the Resistance one just before Star Wars comes out. So it's like, oh, okay, these are where these characters are at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Where were we? Sorry. Legends of Tomorrow. Oh yeah. Let's see. There was some weird TV news out there. Like, there's going to be a Disney Plus show that's going to be Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge.
Yeah, it's basically a kids game show, but it's Star Wars themed, and it's going to be hosted by Ahmed Best.
Yeah.
For anybody who that name doesn't ring a bell, he was Jar Jar Binks.
Right.
And he is willingly aligning himself back with something Star Wars again. Good for him. I'm happy for him, and I think this could be great. Like, I'm excited for this for kids because I think it's gonna be fantastic.
Oh, absolutely! I'm so happy for him. Yeah, it's gonna be Legend of the Hidden Temple.
That's kind of what I was sort of getting from it. Was that kind of vibe? Was like
they just call it Legend of the Hidden Temple in the Outer Rim.
Yeah,
that's all they should call it. Well, but yeah, it's gonna be a Jedi Temple challenge. It's gonna be them doing that challenging stuff, but in the Star Wars setting.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's the perfect host for it. That guy's great. And any of the behind the scenes stuff you see of him, he's just having a ball on the set, making everybody laugh. He's a good dude.
Yeah. So I'm happy for him. It's very cool.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Let's see what else we got. Have you? Well, I guess you haven't seen Watchmen. The other show that I need to catch up on is His Dark Materials. Have you seen any of that?
I haven't. No.
The first episode was really good.
Okay.
But like with everything else, I've just been so freaking busy. I haven't been able to to catch up on it. But that's another thing that I want to get through.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of fun. All right. Let's see here. What else do we got? We haven't talked about Mandalorian. Let's see here. You want to jump into Mandalorian?
Yeah, I mean we can.
Okay.
Spoil the hell out of it. So.
Yeah, we'll definitely spoil it. So we talked last week, so we're caught up in. We just haven't talked about the last episode.
Yeah, I think so.
So what'd you think of it?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was very good. I liked seeing Bryce Dallas Howard's directing style. I think she nailed it.
Yeah.
And then it was interesting to see Mando go through the whole like, hey, I think we could. He forgot for a moment that they're still going to be tracking this thing.
Yeah.
They're still going to be coming after him. I liked seeing his play with Gina Carano's character. I really liked it. I was really interested in her character.
Oh yeah.
Like it wasn't just said, oh yeah, she's a badass, but it's like no, she's and she's not like I did these things, but now I'm broken and I need help. It's like, no, I had a life and that's over now. And so, I'm just kind of figuring out where to go from here.
Yeah.
And, it was the fight scene was great and I loved the standoff ending. And then cue the soup. Like,
Yeah.
with, with the picture that is now my new phone wallpaper. Like, it's just, this was the best, this was the most aware. They knew by this point in the show that Baby Yoda was going to be this magnificent thing.
Oh,
they knew it by the time they got to making this episode, because this was very much this thing acting like a child. Like turning, like push the button. No, don't do that. Wait, you mean don't do this? No, don't do that. Okay, great. Now I'm going to stare at you and just dare you to do something about me pushing this button.
Yeah. The Baby Yoda is the best thing to happen to this franchise in a while, and it needed it because, oh man, there were a lot of angry people before it, and it's universally loved, I think.
Yes, there's no, and I'm sorry if you don't like Baby Yoda, you're wrong. Like
then you just 100% know that you are just looking for things to not like and to criticize and to be, just if you're at the point where you just don't like Baby Yoda, don't watch Star Wars. It's not for you.
No, because then you just hate fun, and if you're and the same goes for people who are like, well, but its name's not Yoda, so it's not Baby Yoda. Shut up. Just shut your mouth. Like, I have no.
We get it.
it doesn't have a name, but Baby Yoda stuck, so deal with it.
Exactly.
Even
we
Disney
all know
is
that it's not Yoda as a baby. We get it.
Right, but even Disney is just like, sure, go run with it, have fun.
Right. Yeah, that's just what's easy. It's hard to go. The child that could be Yoda's baby or a clone or it's just too much. Just Baby Yoda. We all know what we're talking about. We'll find out in the show what happens.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree. Yeah. The excuse me, actually, no, get out of here. Let's have some fun. It's the one thing that I think everyone can get behind. And yeah, when he walks up drinking the soup, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was so many things in that episode. That cat's from Rebels.
Yes, the Loath Cats.
Loath Cat.
The Loath Cats are in this. I loved that because I saw that and I was just like, oh my god, a Rebels reference. Like,
yeah.
Cause I loved Rebels more than anything. I can't wait to go back and rewatch that for like the 8th time. Yeah. It's so damn good.
Yeah, see, that's the problem is I'll watch this and I'll be like, oh, I gotta go watch more Clone Wars and Rebels and everything. Yeah. Which was great. Yeah, I loved her backstory. I don't know if you noticed the little tattoo under her eye. The Rebel insignia. She's got a Rebel tattoo right underneath her eye.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is great. I love her character. Like she was a shock trooper that was on Endor, so I want a book with her. I want a comic. I want something. I want more of her history.
Yeah.
I'm sure we haven't seen the last of her. I hope. You don't introduce a character like that and then just.
Yeah, tell that to IG-11.
Yeah, but to be fair, he's kind of busy. Where it's like she can be in a show right now. Does that make sense?
That's fair. Yeah, all right, that's fair.
Like he's. I could understand why they were like super busy director. Probably doesn't have enough. I mean, Favreau didn't even have enough time to direct these. You know what I mean? So like, I get that, but she's an actress. Like this is her thing. She could totally be in this. But I get that. I don't think we've seen the last of him either, or his voice. I mean, he directs the last episode. So I don't think it'd be crazy if another IG-11 comes after him. And it's like, oh, that's my brother. That's my other model.
Because here's the thing. They haven't, in universe, really delved into the IG line.
No, exactly. They haven't explained if, like, that was one and done for a number, like R2-D2.
Yeah.
Or if that's a line of assassin droids.
Right. That's the thing, like, are we talking astromechs where they're all a little different, or are we talking, like, T-800s, where they're all essentially the same thing?
Exactly. They haven't touched any of that. In canon, we don't know. IG 88 is it was just assassin droid, and we know a few things from background, but not even that's canon anymore. It's just basically what you see on the screen is canon technically.
Right.
And if he like shows up in the comics or something, maybe. But yeah, outside of that, there's been no explanation, so they could go anywhere with that. So I don't think we've seen the last of him, and I think the way he was probably just trolling everybody. But when he was in his interviews, maybe I'm just remembering this wrong, but I thought I remember him saying that his character was kind of childish, kind of didn't want to kill everything. And my thought process was after we saw him die was that either he puts him back together and he makes him a little bit less assassin-y, like he makes him like a little bit more like, oh hey, I can just be a droid, or we get another model that's just a little bit different. But who knows? I don't know. I doubt we'll see the last of him because he does look interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So back to her. I loved her backstory. I would love to read a novel about her time on Endor.
Oh, it'd be great.
All that stuff and how she joined, and yeah, she has more character than a lot of the characters they've introduced recently that I care about, I guess.
It clicked, and she was really, really good. I know she hasn't done much. Like, I mean, we remember her from the first Deadpool movie, and I really don't remember Gina Carano from much else.
No, I think this is the best thing I've seen her in.
But that's the thing. Like, she has the right level of intensity with a pinch of humor on occasion to make this work. Like that, it feels like that's how that character should be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I saw her interview and she talked about how the director, really shepherded her and really helped her.
Yeah.
Throughout all of this, and that's great. I love that. I love her character. We have to see more of her. I hope that obviously I hope he gets over in his head, or I'm just guessing later on in the show, and he needs help. That would be great. I'm also curious because this does make me wonder, how are they tracking the baby?
It has to be genetic. It has to be a sample of genetic material.
But if that's the case, couldn't they just track anyone in the universe?
I mean, in theory.
Couldn't they have gone after Luke with this thing? If it's just like, hey, we can just use these trackers to find anybody.
Right, but by the time I guess I'm looking for there wasn't an opportunity for that, maybe?
But how? but if this bounty hunter thing is not a chip, and it's like a DNA thing or something, so they're just always going to be looking for it. There's no way to get past this.
That's kind of my line of thinking too.
And so why didn't they do this with Luke?
When did they have time to do it with Luke? First of all, they had to know he existed.
No, they knew Luke existed. They knew that Luke disappeared. They knew that said he was going off and being whatever.
Yeah, but then again, that's the thing of like you have to obtain a genetic sample, and I'm going to specify an exact genetic sample just in case. Like you couldn't have taken Leia's.
Well, how do they get genetic samples off of other bounties, if that makes sense? Like at some point in time, that's what I'm curious about, and I know that they haven't answered any of these questions. I'm just thinking, the guy he got at the very first episode, how did they get his genetic thing? That Luke at some point they must have gotten something from him. They had his lightsaber.
Yeah, but what what DNA could they have gotten off of that though?
I don't know. He touched it with his hand. I don't know how the Star Wars universe works.
But
I'm just saying it's how does it, I want to know how this works.
Yeah,
because it's not a big deal. It's not like they never answer this. It's not like I'm not burning everything down like this is Lost or the last season of Game of Thrones for some people. Like it's not a deal breaker for me. I'm curious. Because if it's a chip, they could take it out. Great.
Right, and that's the thing. This is a question that kind of does need to be answered.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will because they have very easily answered a lot of people's crazy theories. Like, well, if he doesn't take the mask off, how does he? It's like, I took it off yesterday. They answered a big question with this one was if he's actually Mandalorian or if he was found by them, and they answered that question. He was found by them.
Yeah.
and taken in by them. So he's not actually Mandalorian. Well, by blood, I guess.
He's not. He's not of that particular race.
Exactly. He was taken in by them and indoctrinated all their teachings and wisdom and culture, and has become one of them because of, and that's probably has a lot to do with why he can't take the mask off.
Yeah, he is a part of that culture now. He has chosen to take up this culture, this way. He's chosen to take up that way, so he follows their rules. He follows their laws.
Yeah, it's like if you were a baby and you were adopted by a family, you're going to indoctrinate everything about you, and you are going to do what your parents do. You're going to, you're going to be a part of that culture. You're going to eat that food. You're going to do what they do. And so, yeah, it's so cool. I like how they answered it, but they didn't because in Rebels they took their masks off. So something happened.
My thing is, I maintain this group is fanatic. They are like hardcore old school, old Republic era style Mandalorians.
Well, the Mandalorians from Rebels to now, there was a purge, and that's where I think that they had to become, like you said, fanatics, where they probably did adapt hey, we are so low numbered right now, who even knows if their planet exists anymore? The way what's his face was describing what happened to them was such a tragedy, as if they were almost exterminated out of the universe, and they're so rare these days. He was like, it's easier to find the Beskar than it is to actually find a Mandalorian. So I think that they are basically holding on to everything, and as long as they have that mask on, they're a Mandalore. And especially if you're adopted and you take on that oath or whatever, it's kind of like a knight. Like, that's it, you're in for life.
Yeah.
Or like the people who take the walls, who take the black.
The Night's
in
Watch,
Game of Thrones. Exactly. Like, I think that happened because I don't remember the helmet thing at all throughout the history of the Mandalorians.
No, at least not canon anyway. And I'm trying to dig back into Old Republic, and I'm getting nothing.
No, I mean, I've read the bloodlines and stuff from the New Jedi Order and all. None of that. Boba Fett took his helmet off all the time. None of that stuff. So yeah, it's so early. We're a couple episodes in.
Yeah.
They're shooting the second season right now. I don't even need all of these answers. I just like that they're building the world with it.
Right.
And it's perfect that they did it with, before the show came out, I was so this gotta be Boba Fett, but it makes perfect sense it's not, because there's so many liberties that they can take, and there's so many things they can do they would never be able to do if this was Boba Fett, because this would be the last Jedi all over again, because people would be going, that's not Luke Skywalker, that's not Boba Fett, this is how it is, and that people would have it so much in their head of how that character should be, and they totally avoided it by not making it that character, and it's genius if you think about it.
Yeah.
It really is. They essentially soft rebooted Boba Fett and Yoda and IG-88 all at the same time, in a funny way if you think about it. So it's you can do whatever you want with these characters because they're brand new and they're fresh, and they kind of look like things we knew and characters that we knew, but they're all brand new.
But wait a minute, how come Jawas are on a different planet? They don't space travel.
Right. God.
Smack somebody, I swear to God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
How come there are humans across the entire galaxy? Let's just not tug on that thread, shall we? These things don't work. Just deal with it.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. The Jawa thing that I didn't understand when someone said that. We see the Jawas where the bounty hunters are at, right?
Yeah.
We see the Jawas on the planet he goes to.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, the planet that he goes to, could that be Tatooine? They never say what planet it is, right?
No, I don't think that they do, but I doubt it's going to be Tatooine.
I don't think it is either, but that would be cool. That'd be a nice little wrinkle.
Nah.
I'm curious, and I don't think it is. I think this universe is big enough for them to go do whatever they want on as many planets as they want that look. There's going to be more than one desert planet in the universe.
Yeah.
But do you think like, let me ask you, would you like to see them go to Tatooine, Cloud City, Endor, any of these places?
Maybe Cloud City.
Cloud City would be
I
pretty
think
cool.
that would be kind of interesting to see what happened after Empire, after Lando bailed and the Empire took over, and now the Empire's collapsed. What is happening to that place, to the mine? You know, did Lando take it back? What I would be very curious to see what happened there. I
Yeah.
imagine Tatooine is still Tatooine. I don't think anything there has changed or will change ever. Like, it's gonna be the same place it always has been.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I'd like to see what's happened to Cloud City. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. Me too. I, what I've been curious about is I'm trying to think back because we know that he's going to run into the bad guy from Breaking Bad, right? Like we've seen that in the trailers.
Yeah.
But do we know what like I'm trying to remember if it looked like the same planet that that where the bounty hunters are all at because that's the only thing from the trailer that I haven't seen yet and like the guy on the swoop bike
Yeah.
and Bill Burr. So
Oh,
like there's a
yeah, that's
few
true.
things in the trailer that they've shown that we haven't seen yet. Right?
Yeah. But yeah.
Like Bill Burr, the thing with the bad guy from Breaking Bad and like him flying through the air like attached to his TIE fighter or something like that. But yeah, other than that, we don't know what locations they're going to. There's still like 3 episodes left, right? 3 or 4?
Uh, four. Four
Just
episodes.
4, yeah.
Yeah, because
So
there's one Friday, there's one next Friday, there's one the Wednesday after that, and then there's one.
Wednesday.
Yeah, because it comes out. If it came out on Friday, it came out the same day as Rise of Skywalker. So they bumped it up 2 days.
Gotcha. So it's the same week, but it's just gonna be on Wednesday.
Yeah, and then
See, I
there's
thought they skipped the week.
no, there's one the 18th. It's the 6th, the 13th, the 18th, and then the 27th is the finale.
6th, 13th, 18th, and 27th. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So we'll get a little bit early.
Yeah, so we get one. You get one that week, basically the day before the movie comes out,
Right.
and then you get one the following week.
Yeah. That's cool. Awesome.
So
That sounds good.
a lot to look forward to. Yeah, next week, Dave Filoni wrote and directed next week's episode.
Oh, okay. That'll be good.
Yeah.
That will be good. Cool. Well, I think that's it. I know it's a short episode this week, but when we get back, we'll have a lot to break down with Watchmen. We'll have more Mandalorian. I don't know. Maybe I'll see one of these movies. There's just too much to do. Too much to do. Too little time.
Yeah.
Too busy. Too busy. But make sure you go to our Facebook, We Geek Podcast, our YouTube channel, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Android Podcasts. Send us an email, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com, and see you guys next week, Captain.
Captain.